Hello and welcome to the Goatman interviews. Today we have Axolotl.
I.
So Axolotl, what this is I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna kind of just answer them how you would answer them.
I.
What do you bring to the podcast, Axolotl?
Uh, I mean, I have a lot of knowledge, I guess. That's at least what I've been told by people.
You're the human Wikipedia article is your nickname. Uh, what Give us three words uh, that you would use to describe yourself.
Uh, Certainly one of them is weird.
That is a good thing.
Uh, Three words I would use to describe myself. Uh, Eclectic is one I've always been fond of just because it's a fun word.
Eclectic is a great word.
Yeah. And, hidden, I guess, because I don't really say a lot of things I think.
All right. Um. Hmm. I'm trying to think of I'm gonna say like, hey guys, check this out, and then I was gonna name an instrument and watch you like list all the information about it. Here, you know what? Here's a neat party trick that Axolotl can do. All right, ready? Speed run, naming every music genre you know. Go.
Oh god. Well, let's start off with metal cuz that's my expertise. You got heavy
Okay.
metal, you got power metal, you got folk metal, black metal, death metal, slam death metal, brutal death metal, technical brutal death metal, which is technically a different thing. Grindcore and the whole rabbit hole that is grindcore, like gore grind, blackened grindcore. I could go on, but I think that's a tired bit by now.
I mean, name as many as you want. This is your interview.
I
Um.
mean, I could, but
All
I
right.
don't have like all of them memorized. I just know that I have a huge list somewhere.
Understandable. All right. I kind of want to keep quizzing you. I want to see how far this goes. Name every instrument you know that starts with the letter H. Go.
Harp, hurdy-gurdy. God, H is a weird one. Hardinger fiddle is a cool one.
Oh, what?
A Hardinger fiddle.
I don't even
It's
know that one. Hardinger fiddle?
it's
How do you
very
spell that?
similar to a
Oh, I see it.
violin, except it has additional strings that resonate with the main playing strings.
All right, interesting. Yeah, okay, I just looked it up.
And it's
Hardinger
from
fiddle.
Norway. It's one
Okay.
of the few like truly Norwegian instruments.
Uh, the two that came to mind for me were harpsichord and hammered dulcimer.
Oh yeah, those are ones too. Harpsichord is really cool, but I would argue that hammered dulcimer is cooler.
I like they both got a very fantasy like medieval sort of sound to them, which I really really like.
Yeah,
Hammered dulcimer, I would say I like for more like sort of like a castle theme almost, just like or like just like a sad thing. But a harpsichord, I would like for more like sort of a darker tone because it's got that sort of like deeper sound that like gives it this dark tone, which I really really like.
I guess
Uh,
so. Traditionally
like
though,
what?
a
But
lot of
well, like
harpsichord music is actually very bright.
um, well, I do. I mean, you can make it bright, and I have used it like when I'm making music, like I have used it for that. But I use it when I'm making like darker songs, like
Yeah.
like I put it at that lower pitch, and it just sounds so like fucking awesome is a
Yeah.
it's just like dark toned, like down, down, down. It's really cool. Um,
And
yeah, yes.
oh, and one of my favorite things to do with harpsichords and clavichords is just like doing really fast arpeggios because they sound really good on harpsichord and clavichord because of the quick like percussive sound almost.
Hmm. All right. You also really like Vikings. Let's talk about Vikings.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Here's a
Sorry.
here's a fun fact for you. Vikings were actually more feminist than most Europeans because they actually, when they established their laws, they said that a wife can divorce her husband and the husband can divorce the wife, which was revolutionary for the time because women could not divorce.
Yep.
Like if a woman wanted to divorce, they couldn't, but Vikings changed that.
Uh, Give us one random fun fact besides that. Also, that's really cool, by the way.
Random fun fact. Hmm. Did you know
I was
that you
like,
can control MIDI through a guitar? And it doesn't have to be like a specialized MIDI guitar.
um, I did not know that, but I didn't know you could do that in the first place. So,
Yeah, it's really cool. It's as far as I know, there's only like one technology for it, but basically it picks up like the pitch of the strings and turns it into a MIDI signal. It's really cool.
um, and what was the other thing I was gonna say? There's something else I was gonna ask you about, and I totally forgot. Could you imagine if during a job interview, your like interviewee was just like, shit, what was I gonna say?" Man,
Yeah.
if job interviewers had ADHD, that's a good sketch idea, actually. I should make that.
Yeah, that would be
A
good.
job interviewer, but they have ADHD. So what? And fuck, I don't know what I was gonna say, man. You're hired. I don't care. I'm not reading all this. Um. Oh yes. Tell us how you got into axolotls.
Oh boy.
'Cause I presume you liked them before Minecraft added them,
Oh yeah,
like
way
O-
before.
like the
My
OG.
first
Like
encounter with
me and Axolotl.
axolotls was
Was gonna say
what?
me and Axolotl like the Axolotls before they were cool. Okay, we are the
Yeah.
OG Axolotl lovers.
So the reason I got into them was because I was researching non-canon Gravity Falls stuff that was still like with the series,
Mm-hmm.
and I found the one comic where they ask where Dipper asked the axolotl who Bill Cipher is in the time space in between time space.
Yep.
And I looked at the drawing of it and I was like, there is no way that's a real animal. And I looked it up and it was a real animal and I fell in love with it.
Hey, I actually same story but different story. Basically, anytime a someone sent a letter to Alex Hirsch to ask him like lore based stuff on the series that like he didn't want to reveal yet, he would just send them a picture of an axolotl instead, and that's why I came to love
Interesting.
axolotls.
I
Um,
did not know that.
yeah. Um, so yeah. Shout out to anyone who liked axolotls before they are added to Minecraft. I mean, I'm glad
Yeah.
Minecraft added them because it made like awareness for axolotls because they're an endangered species.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, dang it, like everyone likes axolotls now. Now it's not like this unique thing anymore, which kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
cause
I get it.
I remember I liked pugs. Well, like I super liked pugs when like everyone thought they were ugly. But now, like, which and don't get me wrong, I love that everyone thinks they're cute now. Like, I love that pugs are the popular thing. But also, I'm like, I like pugs before they were cool.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember like in middle school, everyone would make fun of me for liking pugs. They're like, pugs are ugly. It's like, fuck you. No, they're not. Pugs are
Yeah.
fucking cute as shit.
I got that a lot for what was it? I got that a lot for liking metal actually. Because like I
Oh,
would talk
really?
to people about liking metal and people would be like, you like that?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's called music."
Yeah, people like music.
Yeah. And
I
now
saw a
like
really,
I'll go around and I'll talk about Slipknot and people will like know who they are. And I'll be like,
I
"Wow, you guys really flipped from a few years ago."
I know, right? I like, I mean, I knew who Slipknot was, but like, I just never listened to their music. And then, and I know like everyone like, cause like Eva talks about like Slipknot a lot, and then I like started like listening to them, and I'm like, holy shit, I love Slipknot, and I've just been listening to them a lot.
Yeah. I
They're
actually
like,
had like a staunch anti-Slipknot phase because I was like I didn't like the fact that they were, like, very mainstream because I did used to be that way,
hmm
and then I started watching, like, drum covers of a few songs off their first album, and I was like, I genuinely did not expect that from a band as big as them, and that's how I got into them.
so another thing is that I never really got into metal, mostly because I didn't like that like I wanted angry music. I wanted music I could be angry to, but I didn't have any that I could like the lyrics weren't and I couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. But like Slipknot is different because they still got that anger in their voice, but like I can still understand what the fuck they're saying, which is just
Yeah.
like perfect. It's like I'm
I
like
mean,
Slipknot. Slipknot is exactly the metal band I've been looking for this whole time.
yeah. I guess the thing for me is that, like, I've always sort of just ignored lyrics because I find them to detract from the song, so I sort of didn't really have any problem going into death metal because it was just like, well, because for me it was just like, oh, the lyrics don't really matter. It's just more about how the vocals actually intersect with the melody,
Yeah.
which
So
I
you are.
recently found out is actually weird to do because like way too much because like a lot of people pay attention to lyrics and I just don't.
Oh, I pay super attention to the lyrics. I love that. Like lyrics are like my life. I
I mean, I get that, but
I
like
just
I
had a
don't
person tell
think
me. Oh, sorry. Continue.
the thing that changed me on that was listening to like it was listening to artists who would literally just like do random syllables for their lyrics and that changed my mind on it
Oh,
because it was like, well, if they can pull that off, then why are lyrics necessary to a song? And that eventually got me down the track of lyrics really aren't necessary to a song.
I mean they're not always, but like there's some songs where like people completely ignore the lyrics and they're like, "Oh, this is a fun song." It's like, "No, it's not. No, it is
Oh yeah.
not." Like,
Yeah.
and there's some that like some I could totally get because like there's songs where I'm like, "What is this about?" I didn't know this for the longest time. Like I found out that "Who Let the Dogs Out" was about catcalling and men harassing women, and I was like, "Oh, that makes so much more sense now." But there's some songs where it's just
Interesting.
like totally obvious what it's about, and people just completely ignore it. Like I had someone tell me they thought Polly was about a parrot, and I'm like, "You're an idiot."
Hmm.
Like, listen to the lyrics. The first 2 seconds I listened to that, I'm like, oh no. And I looked it up and I'm like, yep. So, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, um, just look up what is the song Polly by Nirvana about. Um, and then, there's also, do you know the song Semi Charmed Kind of Life? Semi Charmed Life? Um,
No.
I'm trying to think what the band is. Semi Charmed, Third Eye Blind. Um, it's got a very upbeat man. It's like do 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 do, and it's like just like super happy the whole time. But like literally, if you take one glance at the lyrics, you're like, oh, this is about drugs.
Oh.
Like like he says crystal meth in it, and still some people think it's just a happy song. I'm like, no, he's talking about drugs. He's talking about how he's only happy when he has drugs.
Uh,
Like he's literally
I
like I think he's
remember.
talking about how like he's having sex, but he doesn't care because it doesn't like it's only fun if he has drugs or something like that. Like it's just like
Oh,
yeah.
there's
Um.
this one Guar song that's like that, where it's like it's this really slow, like almost wedding song, but it's about dismembering someone.
Oh my god. Yeah, that sounds like Guar.
Yeah.
Um. There's a lot of I love songs that like have those like those because like those songs where it's like people who don't listen to the lyrics because I love those kind of songs like White Wedding by Billy Idol. That is not about the celebration of marriage. That is an anti-marriage song.
Ah.
Um and then I think this is one everyone knows. Hey Ya by The Outcast. I mean, literally listen to the lyrics. He's talking about relationships not working out and like um
Oh
that
yeah.
sort of thing. But like, and in the song, he literally says you're not listening to the lyrics anyway, or something like a line that's basically saying you're not listening to what I'm saying, you're just enjoying the song. Like he literally points out that that everyone's just gonna listen to the upbeat music. Like he literally points that out, and I'm like, that's fucking meta. Um, there's another song I was gonna mention, but I forgot what it was while I was talking about the other two. Um, yeah, so I love songs like that where it's like because I get to see this new meaning behind it. Oh, closing time. A lot of people think um it's about a like just at a bar, just closing time at a bar. It's about it's I think it's talking about how he's like I because I think there was complications with his kid when his wife was about to give birth, so it's talking about how he's worried about her having a miscarriage, I think. Is
Oh.
the message of the song. But anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because we actually went a little longer than we were supposed to. So,
Ah.
before we go, I want to ask you, how have you felt about being on the podcast? Because you've been here since episode one. How do you think the podcast has changed, in the time that you've been here?
It's more focused, honestly.
I agree. I think the first few episodes we were a lot like we were just like, oh, haha, we're on a podcast, but now we're like kind of got into it and we're kind of just chilling or like just go with the flow and the humor happens.
Yeah.
Like if we force the humor, it doesn't really work as well, but when it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Um, well, thank you for joining us and we'll see you in the next interview.
See
Goodbye.
ya.